What if one man's ambition was enough to rewrite the destiny of an entire nation? What if a single battle could redraw borders, reshape languages, and alter the very soul of a kingdom? In 1066, England faced more than a war, it faced a reckoning. And at the center of it all was a man history would come to know as William the Conqueror. He wasn't born into power. In fact, William's early life was defined by illegitimacy and rebellion. Called William the Bastard by his enemies, his claim to Normandy was contested and his rise to duke was soaked in betrayal and blood. But behind that name, behind the scorn, was a man of vision, strategy, and relentless determination. Across the English Channel, the death of King Edward the Confessor had left a vacuum on the English throne. Several contenders emerged, but the crown ultimately went to Harold Godwinson. William, however, claimed Edward had promised him the throne. Whether it was true or fabricated, William saw his moment, and he would stop at nothing to seize it. He built an armada, not just of ships, but of purpose. Warriors from across Europe rallied to his banner, driven by promises of land, glory, and divine right. In the late months of 1066, William crossed the Channel and landed at Pevensey. It wasn't just an invasion, it was a statement. England, as it had been, was about to end. What happened at the Battle of Hastings was brutal. Spears shattered, arrows blackened the sky, and as thousands fell on both sides, one moment changed everything. Harold struck down his forces in chaos. When the dust settled, the throne of England belonged to a foreign duke from Normandy. But William's conquest wasn't limited to the battlefield. His influence would dig into every corner of English life. Castles rose where villages once stood. Norman nobles replaced Anglo-Saxon lords. The English language began to absorb French terms, birthing the hybrid we speak today. He introduced the Domesday Book, a survey unlike anything England had seen, recording lands, livestock, and wealth. It was about control, yes, but also about transformation, a systematic restructuring of society itself. Governance, law, architecture, military, nothing was untouched, and yet not everyone bowed easily. Resistance flared, rebellions burned. The harrying of the North, a brutal campaign to crush opposition, left entire regions desolate. William ruled with iron resolve, reshaping England in his image. Was he a visionary or a tyrant cloaked in royal ambition? Centuries later, his legacy is still debated, but one truth remains unshaken. England was never the same again. This is the story of a man who crossed the sea, toppled a king, and carved a legacy with sword and stone. This is how William the Conqueror didn't just win England, but redefined it forever. If this journey into the past moved you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon to keep history alive. You're watching The History Lens, where every story leaves a mark.